Hello, I'm Locke Meredith. Would like to invite you to join me on the next Legal Lines, where my guest is Louisiana State Trooper Taylor Scrantz. Trooper Scrantz is going to talk to us about what the Louisiana State Police do to help you and I and the general public to be safe on the roads and to be safe elsewhere. So join us on the next Legal Lines with Louisiana State Trooper Taylor Scrantz.
At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, it's an honor and a privilege if you choose us to serve you.
We serve you with respect, dedication, and an unwavering commitment.
We serve you by working hard and striving to get you the best possible results.
We serve you using 60+ years of legal knowledge, experience, and relationships.
At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we believe that life is about relationships, and it's the mission and ministry of all of us to serve you. Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates has served our community by airing Legal Lines, a community educational program for 18 years weekly to Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas. Watch Legal Lines at LockeMeredith.com or Cox Channel 1004. Hello, I'm Locke Meredith. Welcome to Legal Lines. I'm pleased to have on the show for the first time Louisiana State Trooper Taylor Scrantz. Taylor, wonderful having you on the show for the first time. And you're going to talk to us about the state police and what they do and how they help, frankly, every Louisianan and all law enforcement in the state. But first, tell the folks about yourself. How'd you end up becoming a state trooper?
Right, so as you said, I'm Trooper First Class Taylor Scrantz. I joined State Police on November 30th, 2014. And we have 3 ways you can join State Police. That's through the college route. You have to have 60 hours of accredited college hours. It's the route I took.
Which is what, in what curriculum, I guess?
Any curriculum. That's
Really?
the beauty
Okay.
about law enforcement and state police in particular. It doesn't have to be exactly in criminal justice.
Okay.
It can be in accounting, nursing, or whatever field you specialize in.
Because there's so many roles in
Right.
almost the business of the Louisiana State Police.
Right. Huge organization, a lot of different divisions, and we need those guys that specialize in other areas besides criminal justice.
Okay, so kind of describe the process, because we've talked about it, and every law enforcement official, top guys that I've talked to, said they're having difficulty getting recruits. That I think you said when you applied, y'all had 200 guys trying. Now you're lucky if you got 200.
Right, when I applied, we actually had 600 guys apply in 2014.
I got that wrong, yeah.
And now we have Cadet Class 100 coming up, and we're around the 250 mark on the high end. So it's not from a lack of effort, it's just from the public's out view, not too many people want to get in law enforcement career anymore. It's a very big sacrifice, it's a dangerous field, and we don't get into it for the money. We're definitely not the highest paid career
What are
path.
troopers paid right now?
So when they start the academy as a cadet, they start at $50,000.
$50,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And every year for 22 years, you get a merit increase of
And
3%.
that just based on your performance?
No,
Because
so
it's
it's
merit-based, or is it just
seniority
guaranteed
based,
a raise?
guaranteed. As
Okay.
long as you meet a satisfactory work performance level for that fiscal year, then you will get that merit
Okay.
increase.
Describe the process, because I know another state trooper, Ben Friedman, who's apparently you helped train also.
Right.
And he loves it, but it's a sacrifice not only for the trooper, but for their families.
Exactly. So our hiring process is very long. Okay, we go through extensive background checks, but the first part of the process is you apply with our commission, you take a test. Once you pass the written test, you get the opportunity to complete a physical test. If you pass the physical test, you move into an oral interview board. After the oral interview board, you go through a polygraph, which is a lie detector test, and during that time, your background check is completed. And if you get a conditional offer of employment, you go through drug screening, a matrix, which is a psychological exam, and you go through a physical by a doctor. And then once you begin the academy, it ranges from 18 to 22 weeks. You live on the compound Sunday through...
Basically boot camp, right?
Exactly, yeah. You live on the compound Sunday evening through Friday evening. You get to go home on Saturday, see your family, and report right back that Sunday.
So the written exam is, I guess, to test educational level and communication skills and writing skills?
Yes, or grammatical skills, your basic reading skills.
All right, and then the next testing phase was what?
The physical
All
assessment.
right, and that's self-explanatory.
Yes, sir.
What goes on in the boot camp, or is that you don't talk about it?
Well, every single trooper has gone through the State Police Academy. In order to wear this blue uniform and be the Colonel of State Police, you have to be a graduate of the Louisiana State Police Training Academy. It's a very proud tradition that we have, and it's very stressful. It is. I joined as a 21-year-old college student, and I was in shell shock when I joined. So it goes from getting pepper spray, being tased,
I heard pepper spray is pretty rough.
it is by far the worst experience I had in the academy. It burned very bad. I'd rather be tased than pepper sprayed, I can tell you that. But the reason we do all those things is because when a trooper's by himself on the road, he's going to be put in stressful situations.
Right.
So we need to make sure they can handle that.
It's not a joke.
Right. So
I'm laughing, but it's not a joke.
Right.
You got, and that's the other kind of side of the coin I wanted to talk about. You folks, men and women who join, it is a way of life. It's remarkable when you actually think about it. Explain to folks. I mean, it really is a dedication and a sacrifice to take a job that doesn't pay big money, to possibly be killed or wounded or severely disabled.
Right, just like you said, especially during the academy process, it's more of a sacrifice for your family. If you're married and you have children, their dad's not going to be home for 18 to 22 weeks. That's a very long time. And then when you actually do get off onto the road, you're working 12-hour shifts, that might be night shifts. You're working very long hours, you're not seeing your family much, so they sacrifice. And we thank our family members very much for supporting us. And I guess if you're not in our shoes, it's kind of hard to explain why we do what we want to do. We truly have the intention of helping the public. We love our community, we love the state of Louisiana, and we want to make sure it's safe for them. That's what everybody wants. They want to feel safe when they're traveling the highways. They want to feel safe whenever they let their kids go to school, and that's what we're here for.
So, you kind of started going into it. The Louisiana State Police has a motto or a mission, a vision, and leadership. Explain to folks what each one of them is.
So on every single state police unit, you'll see loyalty, courtesy, and duty. So loyalty is being loyal to our citizens. Courtesy is always being courteous. I've never met someone on the side of the road who's been happy about getting a speeding ticket, but it's incumbent of troopers to be professional and to be courteous. You know, we're not out here to ruin anyone's day. We're there because of state law, and we want to make sure our highways are safe. In duty is putting that gun belt and this uniform on every single day and serving the state of Louisiana for 25 to 30 years. And
that's the goal of everyone who joins, as far as you appreciate?
Yes, sir. I mean, we have a very, very low attrition rate. Normally, if you go through the State Police Academy, you're going to stay here for a career. I don't know too many guys who've left to go to the federal agencies. I've only heard about one or two, and I didn't know those individuals. Since I've been on for the 5.5 years, I don't think we've had anyone leave to go to a different agency.
In fact, I know the current Baton Rouge Police Chief, Paul, is a former high-level Louisiana State Trooper.
Yes, sir. Well, now Chief Murphy Paul was Lieutenant Colonel Murphy Paul. He was over our investigations as the Deputy Secretary, and once he retired, he took the leadership role for Baton Rouge Police Department.
Yep, I think he told me he wasn't quite sure that was coming his way, that really wasn't looking for it, but when it hit him between the eyes, he tackled the job, and it's a big job. Let's talk about the focus, particularly of your division, that being communicating with the public and the community. Kind of explain the rationale behind that.
So public affairs, we work on the education side as well as the community outreach side, and we're the conduit between our department and the media. So anytime you see a fatality and when you see a trooper on scene, that's a public affairs trooper giving the media briefing and things of that nature. We also have a program called Sudden Impact, and what we do with that is at the sophomore level, we'll have schools come to Our Lady of the Lake. It's a partnership with University Medical Center in New Orleans.
And this is part of the educational focus?
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
It's communicating with the community, whether it's mass media or one individual, and then to educate the population.
Right, and it's so imperative that we do that at a young age. And when we start on the sophomore level, they can grasp it and they understand the severity of that.
When you say sophomore level?
In high school.
Right, okay.
Yes, sir, high school.
Not college.
Correct. They're
Okay.
fixing to get their driver's licenses, they're getting their permits.
Honestly, I would think the sooner you can get them, the better, so that folks aren't scared of police officers.
Exactly. So and we talked about that earlier. One of the most frustrating things we can hear as a law enforcement officer is parents tell their children, "There's a police. You got to be afraid of him, or else he's going to put you in jail." That's not the case. We're here to help. We want people to feel comfortable around us. We want them to trust us because we truly are here to help. You know, and that's the education side of things that we do.
Okay, we'll continue this on the next segment. This is Locke Meredith with Legal Lines. My special guest, Trooper Taylor Scrantz. We'll be right back.
My name is Mitchell Meredith. I'm one of the associate attorneys here at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. One of the reasons I love this firm is that the moment you walk through the doors, you're so much more than business. You're family, which means we're going to fight for you as if you're family. At the end of the day, I think what distinguishes our firm from others is we're a firm that is truly personal, professional, and proven.
Welcome back to Legal Lines. I'm Locke Meredith. I have Trooper Taylor Scrantz. We're talking about the Louisiana State Police and frankly kind of how you become one, but also what you do when you are one, and that the goal is to take care of and protect and be a part of society in Louisiana in a good, wonderful way, and to protect us all from crime and dangerous driving. That's kind of one of the focuses you guys have been focused on, so let's talk about it.
Right, so one of the programs we have we're very proud of is Sudden Impact.
Because you guys are on the road, all the roadways in the state of Louisiana.
We are.
How many troopers are on the roads?
As an organization as a whole, we have about 1,200 troopers. Now on the road, that's the backbone of our organization. The large majority of troopers are on the road, but we have a lot of different sections. We have gaming, which is your gambling enforcement.
Right.
We have air support, which is the helicopters you see in the air. We have detectives. We have
all kinds of different, and we'll get into that.
Yeah,
but on the roads, it's what, about 200? Do you know?
It'd be more than that. I don't know the exact number
okay.
on it, but it's probably around, if I had to guess, about the 500 to 600 number.
Okay. So you guys are, and the reason I ask that is because y'all see the type of scenes that no human being, no mom, dad, brother, sister wants to see, and that's the devastation that comes from driving when it doesn't go right.
Exactly. So that's why we try to educate teenagers at a young age. Sophomore level, we start with the classroom education about the importance of wearing your seatbelt, not texting and driving, not driving while impaired. Then we follow up with that same...
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How do you teach them? Do y'all have screens? Do you show photographs?
Everything. We show videos. Everything's
okay.
a PowerPoint presentation. We show videos. We actually go through a mock field sobriety test. We put drunk goggles on the kids, and they get to see what alcohol does to your vision, your balance, and all those different things, and the dangers of driving an automobile while impaired. So at the junior level, we do a mock crash. And
now describe that process.
A mock crash is a stage crash. We actually get 2 wrecked vehicles from a tow yard, and we have microphones, we have props, we have medical staff, we have everyone out there. The firefighters come and help us, the Acadian Ambulance, EMS come and help us. And what we do is a child actually dies in this crash.
So you're creating one of the scenes that y'all deal with on the roads.
We're creating a fatality crash, and one of the drivers is impaired. They're leaving prom, and another driver leaving prom is killed. All right, the impaired driver is arrested for vehicular homicide.
Do the vehicles actually collide, or is it the collision has occurred?
The collision has occurred, but when you get to the
so
scene,
you get there and the vehicles are destroyed, and you have the victims out and about.
Exactly. There's blood.
First responders are coming in.
Yes, sir. We have fake blood there. It looks very realistic. It really does. And so the impaired driver gets arrested for DWI. Then the troopers go make notification to the deceased's family.
And they watch that whole process.
Exactly.
Y'all are doing basically a play showing them what it is, what the real deal looks like.
Exactly. We go through this. It's very realistic. We go through what troopers see every day on the road. And right now in Troop A, we're working a fatality crash. And we want the children to see how frequent this does occur. So we make next of kin notification, and the parents get very emotional. Even though
they do.
Even though they know.
How do the kids react?
You'll be surprised how many we've seen cry. And every single one of them, when we're done with our program, we ask, has this changed your behavior when it comes to operating an automobile? And every single one says yes. There's no doubt about it. And then we go to the senior level, and that's when we have
That's great news.
Yes, sir. And when we go to senior level, we have a mock trial, and that impaired driver is eventually convicted of vehicular homicide. He gets brought away to go to jail. The mother pleads for the...
Is there a judge also participating?
A real judge. We have Judge Babin.
So is it in a courthouse?
It's normally in the auditorium at the school.
Okay, got
but
it.
Everything's set up like an actual courthouse.
Got it.
And
have witnesses in the whole bit, or is it just pronouncing the verdict and
No.
imposing the
we have
sentence?
deliberation. We have a jury. We have a judge. We have a bailiff.
So they're witnessing the criminal judicial system.
They
in
are.
action.
Yeah,
and you guys are the ones that collect the evidence.
Correct.
If you guys don't do your job right and aren't trained correctly, and that's why you have to be, nobody's going to get prosecuted if they break the law, because you guys are the ones that investigate and create, find the evidence, preserve it, and present it.
Right, and we actually go through the field sobriety process during the trial and the mock crash, and they can see the levels we take to determine someone is impaired. As everyone knows what a field sobriety test is, and they see when a impaired person is arrested for that, and we articulate that in every single report we have. And that's what leads to the convictions of vehicular homicide, DWI.
And then do they lead the at-fault party to jail?
They put them in orange jumpsuit, they put them in handcuffs, and they lead them out of the auditorium or the courtroom.
At that moment?
At that moment.
That's right.
And you can hear the mother screaming. And the most impactful part of that whole entire process, in my opinion, is when the victim's mother or father gets onto the stand and gives the recommendation for the sentence to the judge, a victim impact speaker.
Exactly.
And that's very moving. I've never seen a dry eye during one of those.
Well, you've destroyed more than just the person in the vehicle who was killed or maimed. The whole family's devastated for the rest of their lives.
Right, and that process is very intense, but the ultimate goal of that is to change behaviors. You know, the leading cause for death in teenagers is not suicide, it's motor vehicle crashes. And so that's why we're trying to reach out to our children. They're our most valuable possessions. We want to make sure they have careers. We want to make sure they live to be old.
Right.
And
so the two main causes of the crashes, based on the Louisiana State Police's experience, is impaired because of alcohol or drugs of some sort, or texting, I presume.
Distracted driving, ultimately texting, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, it's all the same. It's distracting your attention from the roadway.
Right.
And
do
then
y'all have any idea or statistics about how many accidents are caused in Louisiana because of texting?
I'm sure we do have the statistics. I'm not aware of them right now, what exactly they are, but
we know it's high.
It has to be high. We know that because every single crash we work is preventable. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing on the roadway. They would have never gotten to a crash.
Okay.
If they pay attention, they would never have crashed.
All right, so we've kind of talked about that. Y'all also focus on making daggum sure the passengers in the vehicles when they're driving are safe. All the passengers, including babies.
We do.
Explain to folks about that.
So I'll tell you, one of the programs we have is a child safety seat installation station at every single troop in Louisiana. Every single troop, every week, once a week, and in Troop A, we do it 1 to 4 on Tuesdays. We install child safety seats for expecting parents.
Install them?
We install them. We're certified to install them.
Excellent.
And
so folks, if you're pregnant, go see the Louisiana State Police near you.
Correct, yeah, nearest troop. And on our website, we have the information, what times and dates we have them. And like I said, Troop A is every Tuesday, 1 to 4. Appointment or walk-in. We welcome all walk-ins.
And you guys are certified. I mean, y'all had to be trained, and then y'all can teach folks, parents, the proper way to do this.
We do. We go through a 40-hour class. It's a very strenuous class. Like I said, it's 40 hours, and you practice installing every kind of car seat. You take a written exam. You have to pass that with a certain percentage, 80%, I believe, or above. And then you have to install 5 seats correctly.
So how many folks take y'all up and actually use the program?
Oh, tons. New Orleans is our busiest troop. This week alone in Troop A, I was there. We had 14 people come in and
Excellent.
had child seats installed.
And are y'all donating child seats, or is there any kind of program like that for folks who don't have it, or is this you got to bring your child seat with you?
We recommend bringing a child seat with you. If you're financially incapable of buying a child seat, I personally will go through whatever leaps and bounds I need to do to make sure your child is secured in a proper seat. We'll get you a child seat. But we encourage people to bring their own child seats, and that way we can properly install them and show you how to do it, because let's say you have to take the seat out the vehicle for whatever reason and you forget how to do it, there's no point in us doing it if we don't show you how to do it.
Okay, we'll continue this on the next segment. This is Locke Meredith with Legal Lines. My special guest, Trooper Taylor Scrantz. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Sean Fagan. And you know, one of the most important considerations in hiring an attorney is considering trust. I believe at our firm, our results speak for themselves. Most of the people we represent come from past clients who have referred friends, family members, other people they love to us to represent them in the same way we represented the persons who referred them. It's the greatest compliment any law firm could get. And I believe that if you come to our firm, we'll earn your trust.
Legal Lines has interviewed Louisiana Supreme Court justices, appellate trial court judges, federal, state, and local government leaders, including U.S. senators and Congress members. Watch at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates website, LockeMeredith.com, or Cox Channel 1004. Welcome back to Legal Lines. I'm Locke Meredith. Again, pleased to have on the show Louisiana State Trooper Taylor Scrantz. We're talking about what the Louisiana State Police do for us as public servants. We talked about what the Louisiana State Police does in educating folks on how to drive safely. Let's talk about what the Louisiana State Police does about educating folks on how to be safe, whether it's on the internet. We've talked about driving, protecting themselves, or where they're circling. Explain.
All right, so personal safety is a big thing to state police. We have
First of all, explain why we're talking about personal safety.
I mean,
crime happens.
Every single day we have crime happen. Baton Rouge is a very large city. New Orleans is a large city. Shreveport is a large city, and unfortunately in larger cities, the crime rate is higher.
Well, and honestly, we have historically always, our two cities, I think, are in the top 3 or 5 per capita of crime.
Nationally, yeah.
High.
Right, and so
among the highest.
And that's the importance of protecting yourself, whether that's with a firearm. We offer a concealed carry class, we teach that class, and we also give those certifications. You know, as you said, it has to be renewed every 5 years.
Describe that process. If somebody decides, a lady, she's tired of walking, you know, when it's nighttime and looking behind her all the time and being scared to death, and she decides she wants to get a gun. First of all, can a woman handle a gun, a pistol?
Of course. We have women troopers, and a lot of times they're better shots than the men. So,
they are.
They are. They're a lot calmer with it. Their egos aren't in the way. They listen to instruction and they take it.
Well, so explain the process to get it concealed.
So the process is you report to Louisiana State Police Headquarters on 7919 Independence Boulevard. When you walk in, to the right, there's a background check unit, and you got to get fingerprinted. A background check has to be conducted by our investigators. Once you clear that, then you can apply for your concealed carry once you've taken the class. And
they teach you about the laws relating to it and proper use and all that, and then you also have to take a shot 1 or 2 times.
Right,
if you want to.
Yeah, so you do, and we have troopers that specialize in that department, and that's what they do 24/7. We have a very large number of applicants who want concealed carry because of the high crime rates, and we encourage that. We want everyone to feel safe.
But you said y'all have a backlog right now?
We do. We have so many applicants, and we'll have a certain amount of manpower that we can dedicate to concealed carry. We process them as quickly as we can, and we always encourage patience with that.
Well, and you guys are not the only ones that can provide the course so they can get the permit, correct?
Correct. I think
there are multiple other providers of the training courses.
There are. I don't know any by name in particular, but I think there's certain, I guess, private sector guys that can do that.
Right. And they have to. My recall is they have to be recognized and certified by you guys, because y'all aren't going to trust somebody to teach someone how to use a gun if they don't know how.
Yes, sir.
All right. Talk about the internet. How do folks protect themselves with the internet? Because we've talked about it. Sadly, Baton Rouge in Louisiana is very high up in human trafficking.
Right. So we talk
and drug smuggling and
everything.
It's just amazing.
We actually have our own unit dedicated to preventing these types of crimes. It's called our Special Victims Unit, SVU, and these are troopers normally in plain clothes. We look for child predators, these certain individuals that go on the internet, distributing child pornography and things of that nature. We go out there and we serve arrest warrants on those. We also do undercover operations. And actually, a traffic stop resulted in a human trafficking arrest this year already.
Praise God.
Yeah. Simple traffic stop, and we always encourage our troopers to go beyond the traffic stop. The trooper had keen awareness of what was going on. There was conflicting statements between the passenger and the driver. Come to find out, it was a 14-year-old girl being used as a sex slave from Mexico, and she had been traveling to Texas and was going to Florida. Luckily, we were able to apprehend that man, and the girl was returned to her family. So.
And that guy, pray to God, is so far deep in a hole he can't see light.
Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible crimes, especially against the children or elderly. That's always the worst.
And so, what are we doing about that stuff? Is our main tool I know you guys are on the roads, but I also know, and you mentioned the special units, there's also special collaboration between all law enforcement, state police, the feds, and our sheriffs and our chiefs, police chiefs.
We have a great working relationship.
Explain how that all works together in these scenarios.
Okay. We have a great partnership with BRPD, East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office, in the Baton Rouge area, but that's across statewide. We have a great working relationship with everyone. We have a unit composed of EBRSO deputies, state troopers.
Sheriff Sid Gotros.
Chief Murphy Paul.
Chief Murphy Paul for the Baton Rouge City Police.
Yes, and that unit's called FAU with us, Fugitive Apprehension Unit. So if we have an identity of someone who's wanted for first-degree murder, first-degree rape, those guys, through investigative means, find where that person is located, and they go and get them. They use proactive measures to bring these people to justice.
And you guys, as I understand it, are now combining resources, not only in manpower, but also in terms of technology.
We do. We have the Fusion Center.
And you have license plate readers and all kinds of different new technology tools that are really aiding us.
Right. We are constantly sharing information agency from agency. That's what makes this possible. If I didn't tell the sheriff's office about information I had on a case they needed and they didn't tell us vice versa, we would never make any arrests. That's the beauty of these partnerships. We work in the same building. We're able to disseminate information quickly, and that helps us bring these people to justice. License plate readers, we use that to identify certain vehicles that we may be looking for. The Fusion Center, we use that in conjunction with the BRPD Real-Time Crime Center, and that helps us statistically find out where crime's happening and direct our resources to prevent these crimes. So if we notice a crash,
like a mind reader.
right?
Predictive.
It's very data-driven. So if we see that we have 100 crashes at the intersection of Airline and Segan, we're going to direct proactive patrols to that intersection.
It would make a lot of sense and hopefully save lives and protect folks.
Right.
So you mentioned in the beginning that we're low on the number of potential new troopers coming online. And I assume, do we need more troopers, or are we below what we would like to have?
Yeah, we're always low. We're low on manpower right now. We need more applicants. We want quality applicants. We just don't want anybody becoming a trooper. We want to make sure that our employees are quality guys.
And they're not, and it's not limited to men, women, men, and it's not limited to the person that wants to be in a car, in a dangerous scenario. Y'all have roles that I guess in some ways you would call it office type work versus or accounting work or all kinds of. Explain, because the department is huge.
Our organization is huge. People don't think about the different aspects of state police. We have a fleet division. They do maintenance on our vehicles day in and day out. A supply division. They provide our uniforms. We have administrative divisions. We have patrol division. All these different divisions, without us working together, we couldn't accomplish our goal day in and day out. Public affairs, that's the section I do. I don't work the road anymore. I come do interviews like today.
Does everybody who wants to become a state trooper, do they go through the boot camp? Is that required?
Yes, sir, it is. In order, like I said, in order to wear this gold badge and have the state police uniform or be superintendent one day, you have to be a graduate of the Louisiana State Police Training Academy.
All right, and so if somebody is interested right now, what do they do? What is the website they go to? What is the phone number, or where can they go and begin the process of getting educated on whether or not it's something they want to move forward with?
So the website is lsp.org.
lsp.org. Okay,
Yes, sir.
we'll get that on the screen.
Yeah, as soon as you go to lsp.org, if you look at the top right-hand portion of the screen, it says Become a Trooper. You click on that tab and it shows you the qualifications you must have. It has an actual application you can submit electronically now,
Okay.
and you can actually take the test online. That way
Okay.
you don't have to go to our facility. Once you pass the test, our internal affairs division calls you and sets up a physical assessment for you.
And then you go through the process you previously
Right, we've made it a
described.
lot quicker for
All right,
applicants.
pleasure having you.
Yes, sir, thank
Trooper
you.
Scrantz. This is Locke Meredith with Legal Lines. We've been talking about the Louisiana State Police with Taylor Scrantz. Thank you for being with us.